You're welcome back. We are in the studio with Sheikh Ishaq Nyama. Yeah, Sheikh, yeah, Sheikh, yeah, Sheikh. Sheikh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You did a little curtain raiser when we were discussing the concept of time last Friday. And today we are going into the meat of the discussion, which is wealth acquisition and fraud. Yeah, Sheikh, can wealth only be seen in monetary terms, or what will be your definition of wealth?
Last week's discussion, the issue of wealth came on board.
Okay.
And that actually precipitated our choice of this evening's topic.
Yes, Sheikh.
Wealth is everything that can facilitate life for man. So money is wealth.
Okay.
Physical resources like buildings, assets,
Yes, Sheikh.
also wealth. And today, wealth has been added to the body of wealth that we have in the world, and we call it human capital.
Human capital is wealth.
It's wealth, yes, it is. It is human capital. And to explain it for the layman to understand what human capital is,
Yes, Sheikh.
it is the investment that is made in the intellect of human beings. Meaning, you send a person to school,
Yes, Sheikh.
all the way to the university level, and I think it's about 18 or 17 years.
Yes, Sheikh.
Primary 6, yes, JHS 3, SHS 3, making 12, and the university 4, 16 years. By the time the person hits 22, 21, 22, 23, after university, he's totally different from the very day that he entered primary school. The person has attained a particular level of what we call intellectual property, intellectual wealth. So the mind has attained a level that can help him lead a very important life in this world. So wealth is not only physical, it is also abstract. So it has two types, physical and abstract. The abstract one is knowledge, human capital that we have. Unfortunately for us today, the best of wealth is represented in ideas. So one may not have the physical wealth, but the wealth that the person has in ideas can generate physical wealth. Bill Gates, just yesterday, was it on the internet or where I read it, his wealth about 93 billion dollars. This was a man who was in university, and then in the class he realized that the computer science that he was being taught,
Yes, Sheikh.
he was above the class. So he saw it to be a waste of time. So no, already I have the knowledge. So let me translate the knowledge into action and use these ideas to set up Microsoft. So today, the best of wealth is not physical wealth. The best of wealth is the wealth of knowledge, the wealth of ideas, the wealth of intellect, which can shape and transform lives and direct lives. And when you reflect upon the civilizational trend of human cycle or life cycle on earth, you realize that we started with hunting and search for wood. That was the beginning of civilization. Then we move on to agriculture, then to industrial revolution or industrialization, if you so wish.
Yes, Sheikh.
And then the computer age, then the internet, and then the knowledge age. The internet exploded the spread of knowledge. So now today we have the knowledge world. And it was knowledge which added value to agriculture through industrialization. And it was knowledge which introduced computer in the internet for knowledge to spread, for people to be well informed, so that they act not out of stupidity, but they act based on knowledge.
And Sheikh, that's quite a powerful preamble. In a subtle way, you've divided the two types of wealth, the micro level and the macro level. Let's look at the micro level. Yeah, Sheikh, various families in Ghana understand wealth to be how much you have in your bank account. In your time, people were respected because of the wisdom they had, the ideas.
Yes.
But today we see wealth only through the prism of the words of currency you have.
In fact, what you're talking about today, that people measure wealth in terms of what people have in their bank accounts, is changing. It's changing because money or possessions became the yardstick for the measurement of success. And it started after industrialization, and there was mass production of goods. So people we call the captains of industry, captains of society, started making propaganda for the change in taste, consistent change in the taste of people. So you may have this watch, but as soon as you buy it, you are waiting for the next one that will be produced. So somebody has Samsung 3. As soon as he buys it, he's waiting for Samsung 4, even though the difference is just very slight. So over the years, people developed interest in the acquisition and the possession of material things. Not only money. So the number of cars you have will determine your status. The number of houses you have will determine your status. And I can tell you, it wasn't only in Africa. It was a global thing. And I think it was more like an addiction. It had affected every society in the world. Money had become the yardstick. Indeed, for the past 4 years, 2 scholars, William James with his book entitled Stuffocation, and then Oliver James with his book Affluenza, from the word affluence, and then he added ZA to turn affluence into a virus. A situation where money has become a virus now. So in the past, people were respecting others because of the possession of wealth, the amount of money you have in the bank. But now, these scholars have done tremendous work on the new direction of thought on wealth. And their study established that now it is not the question of possessions that you have. It is not the question of money that you have in your accounts. But 2 things are prevailing today. The first one is the possession of sound ideas that can affect people positively. That is number 1.
Yes, right.
And the number 2, even if you have the wealth, if your wealth, physical wealth, in terms of money or whatever, if it cannot positively impact on other people, it is useless. These were the 2 results they got. So if you can clearly see that there's now a new change in the way people look at wealth. And this, William James is a social psychologist. Oliver James is a journalist, just like you. No, Oliver James is a social psychologist. William James is a journalist. And they established that today, money is not a yardstick. But if even you have the money, what is it for? If you have money and you are only using it to impact positively on other people, then there's a problem with you. And then 2, Stephen Covey. I've read almost all his books. He says that we are living in the age of wisdom. We are moving from the internet age to the age of wisdom. And age of wisdom, he means by proper application of ideas and knowledge. That is our age. That is why if you pick 2 individuals, one is very knowledgeable and one is packed with wealth, people will run after the one with knowledge and ideas more than the one with wealth. Because it is ideas that run life today. It is not money.
Yeah, Sheikh, you say this phenomenon of materialism and consumerism is global.
Yeah.
It's a universal phenomenon. But Sheikh, I spoke with a Dutch a few months ago, and in the understanding of Europeans, you bargain the best when you acquire something the cheapest on the market. But in Ghana and the rest of Africa, you present a gift to somebody and the person wants to know how much you bought it. The more expensive it is, the more valuable it is to the person. Where from this mentality?
It's a wrong mentality. It's all because we don't understand life. There is a campaign I've been doing for married couples. And you know, it is very important in life to be giving out gifts. The Prophet Islam once said that, give out gift for love to prevail. You know, if you give somebody a gift, you open his heart for you to enter. It is very powerful.
Then let us be giving gifts to Sheikh. There are so many hearts we want to be able to enter.
You know, there are 5 universal values. Those values, every religion teaches them.
Wow.
Every custom projects them. One of them is kindness.
Wow.
And kindness means that you give out a gift even to somebody that you do not like. And when you do that psychologically, you bring him closer.
Wow.
So gift is extremely important.
Wow.
Now, the problem we have is that if the gift is valuable, then it means you love me more. If the gift is not valuable, then it means that you are just acting hypocritically. You have brought me something, but it's not valuable. But the truth of the matter is that when a gift is given out, that act of giving in itself is a value.
Wow.
That somebody sat down, thought of you, and brought you a gift. And because of this mentality, a lot of people shy away from giving out gifts, fearing that when I give it out, the person will go and ask from the open market how much it costs me to buy that thing.
Wow.
And there's a campaign I've been making for married people that gift strengthens the bond of marital relationship. Wow. So when you go out and you're coming home, even yogurt, 1 CD, you just buy it.
Wow.
You go to the kitchen, madam is in there cooking for you.
Yes, Sheikh. Yes, Sheikh.
Your laughter even tells me that very soon you'll be there.
Yeah, Sheikh.
You know, so you give yogurt to your wife.
Yes, Sheikh.
Allahu Akbar. When you do that, your wife turns to you. Her eyes are widely open. Do you know what it means? Even though it is 1 CD, but that act is special for her.
But Sheikh, which wife are you talking about? A wife from a different continent or universe? African women don't even appreciate flowers as gifts. What is a gift to them is what can go into their tummy, or it's an iPhone 10 or
This
iPhone
is the
X.
first time I'm hearing this. I never knew this. I never knew that.
This is our generation, yeah, Sheikh.
I never knew that they don't.
In your time, Kulu Kulu could have done the trick. In our time, yeah, Sheikh,
you see,
they measure everything
what I want to
based
emphasize,
upon how much
what I
it
want
is.
to emphasize is that my interest is in the act,
Okay.
not in the value of the object given.
Wow.
Just the mere fact that the person sat up, thought about you, and brought you something that is very valuable.
Wow.
So no matter how the item, the value of the item, I'm not concerned about that.
Wow.
I'm concerned about the fact that the person has exhibited kindness towards me.
In Kumasi, Sheikh, in the 80s and early 90s, anytime a burger was coming, a returnee, the person would get very simple shirts and pairs of jeans you could even afford on the Idumfos line market. But people really cherished it because of where it was coming from.
Yeah, you see, it all has to do with mentalities.
Okay.
And for example, as you are rightly saying, when I was outside Ghana for studies, either in Saudi Arabia or UK, anytime I was coming home, my own siblings were more interested in the things I will bring from abroad. That one, you are right.
Okay, Sheikh.
But the point is that that shouldn't change our mentality about the fact that an act has been done. My emphasis is on the act itself, not the object. I'm not interested in the object. So for example, if you bring me a pair of chalawate Or my wife goes to town and bought me a handkerchief. Handkerchief is 2 cedis. But the mere fact that she thought of me and bought me a handkerchief, fantastic, wonderful. She's a wonderful woman. You know, she goes to the market and gets me, you know, a nice jalabia or shirt. That won't cost more than 50 Ghana. She brings it. I said, fantastic. The mere fact that you thought about me. So our focus should be on the fact that somebody has thought about me.
Sheikh, you say gifts serve as icebreakers to the hearts of people you so much cherish. We are now in a catch-22 situation. You want to visit a minister, you want to visit your DC, you want to visit a chief or a malam, an imam. Sheikh, would you rather give the money to the person, or you could have something in kind, having an apprehension that maybe they will not appreciate the act, just as you are saying?
I hate giving monies. If I want to give a gift, I buy an object that will serve the work the person is doing. So, for example, if I have a friend who is a district chief executive, I'll buy him a diary. If I go to UK, I'll buy him a very expensive Parker pen, which he can fix in the court.
Yes, sure.
If I visit a malam, subhanallah, I'll get him a nice jalabia, a nice sajada that he can pray on. So the gift will change in respect of the person at the receiving end of the gift. So if it's a malam, it will change. If it's an office holder, it will change. So I will look at the status or the work of the person who is going to receive it and then do what is appropriate.
Sheikh, let me take you away, even though this is not the focus of our discussion, to a zone you will not be comfortable with. There is this talk in this country about enticement and entrapment. High court judges and inferior court judges were given goats and sheep to, you know, tweak their judgment in court. And there is a huge debate as to the ethics of such an investigative journalism. Where do you stand on this, looking at a subculture of giving and accepting gifts? At what point would you christen a gift bribery or corruption?
I think that, you see, it is bribery when it has the spirit of inducement.
Sheikh, the Parker pen you are giving the minister, don't you know it will induce him to give you a contract?
What is my interest? I'm not a contractor. I'm a malam, and I've traveled outside, and I'm giving a gift of pen to a friend. I'm not a contractor. If I were to be a contractor, and I know one day I will go to this man for him to sign a contract in my favor, I wouldn't give him the gift. That is why there was this noise about this Ford car that was given by Burkinabe, you know, some time ago. Sometimes these gifts are to influence public office holders. That one is absolutely wrong. If you know you are in the terrain where the individual who is in that office, that you'll be seeking support from on one day, because you are a contractor, because you have an interest at stake, such a person, if you give her a gift, then they will interpret it as conflict of interest, or you want to influence a particular decision in your favor. That one is bribery. But ordinarily, I can give you a gift. Gift giving is not illegal. You can share gifts. But when you have an interest and you give the gift, that is where the question marks start. And so if you are a judge, you know, and you are sitting on a case, and one of the two, the defendant and the plaintiff, one of them brings you a goat, that is illegal. Let me give you one example. These whites said they are advanced. When I was in UK at the University of London, when I was writing my thesis, I had to come home to do field work.
Yes, Sheikh.
And when I was coming, my supervisor said she wanted some African words.
Yes, Sheikh.
I got some for her. She was a lady, Professor Unterhalter. And then, you know, pair of sandals. I bought about 2 or 3. One for her and two for her two daughters.
Wow.
She asked me to buy them for her. Huh?
Yes, Sheikh.
So when I went with the pack, do you know what she did?
No.
She said, I should keep them until after the defense of my thesis.
For fear that would soften her.
She wanted to do her work professionally. Go through my work, then I'll go for my defense. After that is I'm through, then I can bring the gift. You see, in her mind, she didn't want any influence because she was going to read my script and the panel members will read my write-up, and she wanted to do a neutral job. So that her conscience would tell her she has done the job the way it was expected of her. So she asked me, I had the shock of my life.
Wow.
She asked me to buy them for her. Because when I was coming home, I never thought of buying those items for her. It wasn't on my mind. But before I departed, she said, Ishaq, when you go to Ghana, I want these things. So when I brought them, she said, no, keep them until after we have finished with your thesis.
On this note, we'll go for a quick commercial break. We'll be back shortly. Stick and stay with us. You're welcome back. You are still tuned in to Time with Irbad Ibrahim. And today we are with our regular Friday guest, Sheikh Ishaq Nyama. Sheikh, you're welcome back.
Thank you.
Sheikh, people say, or they used to say during the early days of fried rice in Kumasi, and I keep taking you to Kumasi because you're from Kumasi.
And you are from Kumasi.
They said, Unisika was a fried rice, Emma Jaundice. Is it good to demonize wealth acquisition with the aim of leading a very austere and ascetic life? Is there anything demonic or bad about money making?
You see, money is good and bad. Is good and bad at the same time.
Wow.
It is good when it is in the hands of a person who has a pious heart. It is demonic when it is in the hands of a person who has devil in his heart. Money facilitates life. Money makes life comfortable. Today, if you have resources, and then you can travel around Ghana in a very good vehicle that can facilitate your movement, and then you can address quite a good number of people for them to get closer to their creator. It is money that will help you do it. Where we are sitting is a studio. It was through money that it was set up. So money in itself is not bad, but it becomes bad when it is being manipulated and used by a heart that is devilish. So for example, somebody is very wealthy but very wicked. There are some individuals, they have the resources. As soon as you knock his door, oh, welcome, come in, sit down. When you put your problem on the table, you can read from the person's face how prepared the person is to receive you and offer you support. And sometimes when the support is given, he tells you, let it remain between the two of us. In this sense, money is fantastic. There are some people who are running after money and they look at it as a small god. They worship it. Instead of money being a means to an end, it has become an end in itself. So when they get it, they accumulate it. And they are happy the bigger it becomes in their bank accounts. So they don't easily release money to serve humanity. And such people may have a particular hypocritical trait And that is when you go to the person, he will not support you until there are other people around. He'll only give out money when he knows he's going to have praises from other people. So when the poor man comes, instead of holding the hand of the poor man to a corner in his house where no one sees them, he'll only give it out in the open when everybody is watching. So in that sense, somebody will say, this much money is evil. Or the person has the resources and is perpetrating in the act of meting out injustice to other people, buying policemen to cheat and fight other people, not using his wealth to maintain law and order in society. Then money, because it's in the hand of a man who is devilish, is an evil.
Sheikh, let's now look at how you accumulate money or wealth itself. Yeah, Sheikh, should the end justify the means?
It's a Machiavellian philosophy. Last week I quoted one of their philosophies.
Yes, Sheikh.
And this one is also coming from Machiavellian philosophy. It is absolutely wrong. The end shouldn't justify the means. If you say the end justifies the means, that is why people acquire wealth through legal and illegal means. In normal human moral settings, sound moral settings, the means and the end should be sound. Meaning the objective should be good, and the strategies or the means through which you attain or you achieve the strategy, the target or objective should also be good. So if you want to be somebody in future, you want to be a wealthy man, because of this philosophy, the end justifies the means. The person uses cocaine, money. I served on Narcotics Control Board for 5 years, 3 months, so I have a lot of information about how they normally work and get their monies. They use couriers. They use various forms to sell the hard drug. And in the process, they destroy other human beings. And they make their money through this. The objective is to be rich, but the means is absolutely and woefully bad. So in this sense, the end does not justify the means.
Sheikh, 3 or 4 decades ago, before a teacher could afford a parcel of land, he would have worked for 15 years or 20 years. Those times when you went to school and you came back with something new, your parents would question you where you got them. Sheikh, now parents don't question their children where they get money.
It is because
From?
For almost 30 years, there has been a serious negligence on the part of parents in respect of keeping watch on their children. We have not done any baseline survey, but the evidence is clearly seen in the classrooms. The way children behave in school will tell you what their parents are doing with them. Now, parents do not impart values. The mother goes out for money. The man goes out for money. And this little kid is at the mercy of the house help. Because the essence of human existence, of societal growth and continuous existence, is the ability of the generation today to transfer good values to the generation that will come. There has been a break in this. Those countries that have succeeded in keeping their values intact without being tainted, like the Chinese. When you go to California, Los Angeles, they have a place they call China City. That part of Los Angeles, they speak only Chinese. They don't speak English. The way children are supposed to respect their parents is there. It has been so because parents have time for their children. In our case, we don't. Today, a girl will come home with some new clothes,
Yeah.
new mobile phone, and then the mother is happy. Okay, Sabon phone. You have got a new phone. Ask her, where did she get it from? Maybe it's a stupid guy out there, a wolf outside there, who is wooing her to his side and destroy her in future. So the phone is acting more like a bait to bring her closer to himself. And your daughter that you have kept in SHS, this young man will go there, woo her out of campus to the blind side of the school administrators. And then out there they go into a hotel. The next time she comes home, she's pregnant. In the past, parents were very careful about their children, because the essence of our very existence is that we marry, we get children, and they come here to inherit our values, and they take over from us. And any society that is unable to check this transfer will die with the passage of time. There has to be continuity. You know, in the past, parents were very careful. They were taking good care of their children. They were interested in what their children are doing today and what they will be doing in future. But today, it's all about money. I met a lady at a commercial bank. I'll mention the area of the bank. And then it was around 3:45. Went in to cash some check. And then she told me, oh, Sheikh, you are here. You know, this lady here is a Muslim. She named her daughter after your wife, Yasmin.
Mashallah.
So we started talking. Then I asked her, Madam, when do you come to work? She said, by 7 I have to be here. When do you close from here? 7, she wasn't staying at the area. She was staying about an hour away. So it means that she will have to leave the house around 5:30, 6 o'clock. And then she leaves the office around 6, 7. So the question is, the baby she had named after my wife, I asked her, how are you taking care of her? How are you taking care of her? And she said, Sheikh, I've given myself some time. I'm going to resign. Because this work I'm doing, I'm getting money. After the money, I'm getting it. But I'm not able to train my children. I'm not able to handle my children the way I want. So what it means is that I'll get the money, but I'll lose the children. And it even happens to people in the foreign service. Here in Ghana, they move from one location to another like that. So there isn't any stability in the relationship between the man and the children, or the woman and her children. So let me tell you, you have hit the hammer on the nail. Today, parents don't help matters. They don't ask about the way their children are now living their lives. When they come in with gifts, they don't ask. Because there's one nature with children. Children want consistent supervision. Consistent supervision. That is somebody, even though it is a supervision which will give an apparent expression of power, but it has to be exercised in that way. Up to a point where the child will become mature, 18, 19, 20, then he can take the world into his hands and lead his own life independently of parents.
Sheikh, still on wealth acquisition, would you say the system in Ghana that doesn't reward hard work? Because, yeah, Sheikh, there are second degree holders that are unemployed. Then you find a young man who dropped out from JHS driving a saloon car that costs around 50,000 Ghana cedis.
Where did he get it from?
Where did he get it from?
You see, we need to understand certain things about life. Let the person drop out from JHS. Why he dropped out, I don't actually know. And how he got the 50,000 vehicle, Ghana City vehicle, is also another question. But let me tell you, the pursuit of knowledge, which leads to refinement of mind, This mind that is inside here has to be refined. One of the biggest value associated with intellectual development is independence of thought. Ability to think on your own and plan and offer ideas that will help society. If you're able to attain this status, it's far better than money. Those who are rich and have never been to school, go and ask how they lead their lives. I once gave a sermon in a mosque in Kumasi. And one of my friends told somebody, after I had delivered the sermon, after the prayer, he told somebody, after his hack, he said, lucky you. Yeah, here I am. I have about 10 articulators, but I envy him. Because intellectual refinement does not only give you independence, it gives you serenity in your heart. It gives you conviction, the ability to think and understand the world. Life is not about money. And you ask the question whether the society is not rewarding for hard work. I think we are not there yet, but we have to get there. That those who are working hard, our teachers in particular, we should pay them well.
And they are the poorest. I'm sorry to say this.
Teachers will have to be paid well. Saudi Arabia, teachers are paid better than anyone else.
Including doctors.
Yes. In America, that is the trend. Teachers are paid well because the heart of development, the human development of every country is the teacher. President Akufo-Addo was taught by a teacher. His Excellency, President Akufo-Addo, was taught by a teacher. His Excellency Bawumia was taught by a teacher. The medical doctors Akolebu were taught by teachers. The IGP was taught by a teacher. The policemen on the streets who are keeping security of our state were taught by teachers. You were taught by a teacher.
You were one of those teachers.
So the teacher is the heart. So if you look at all the human segments of this country, it is the teacher who is intellectually driving everybody.
Yeah, Sheikh. There are people in this area and other prime areas like East Legon, Trasaco. They own edifices that run into millions of dollars. Yeah, Sheikh, you served on the board of NACOP. I wouldn't want you to mention names specifically, but can you tell our viewers that not all that glitters is gold?
Absolutely correct.
And some of the people you see, we know them based upon the classified info you had access to, that they used fraud, they used narco trade to amass the wealth we are seeing today.
I don't want you to mention East Legon, and I don't want you to mention Trasaco. If you figure the two out, people there will tell us that we are not being fair to them. Let's say Ghana in general. Yes, at NACOP, we have what we call profiling. And profiling means some individuals.
Sheikh, I've been told I have to announce the phone lines. You may join the conversation now by calling the phone line. That will soon be displayed on your screens.
You know, we have what we call profiling. It is still there. We had a long list of individuals that we suspected were into narcotics. So we monitor. We check their movements, their links. And sometimes, maybe a person is into this business, and then British, for example, we had what we call Westbridge was attached to the British Hajj Commission, and we're working with them. So we profile somebody, give his name out there. Maybe the person is traveling to UK. We suspect he may have. We haven't seen, but he may have. And truly, the person will get there and will be arrested.
Sheikh, the calls have started trickling in thick and fast. So please, let me take the first one. Hello. Good evening.
Hello. Hello.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, boss.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, Bob.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Your name and where you calling us from?
My name is Thomas Frimpong.
And lower the volume on your set and we can still hear you. Tom,
Okay,
you are
my name is Thomas Frimpong. I'm calling from the Ashanti region.
Okay, welcome, but lower the volume on your set.
That's Manso to the come to be precise.
Okay.
No, I've been listening to your program. I think this is the third that I'm listening, but I think you're doing a great job. But ask Imam, if somebody is found being an unreported person or something like that, can the government or any institution take action or drag the person to court? That's my question, because we're hearing these people are for, they have done this, they are doing this, but nothing come out of it. It just goes free. So what is the government doing about those kind of people?
Okay.
That's my question.
Okay, thank you so much.
My name again is Sir Tony.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much for your question.
Where were we?
You were talking about profiling and
Yes,
then
we
giving details to the British Intel.
Yeah, we do profiling of people who are into narcotics.
Hello?
And the essence of the profiling is to help us monitor.
Oh, sorry, Ashek. Hello, please, when you call, kindly lower the volume on your set or put off your TV set completely, and we can still hear you. Hello, your name and where you calling from?
Hello. Yeah, my name is Abdulaziz, calling from Yendi.
From Yendi in the northern region.
From Yendi, yeah.
Welcome to the show.
My brother, thank you for the opportunity given to me, my brother. Good evening to you. Good evening to Shay.
Yeah.
I think, my brother, your discussion is very wonderful, and we are happy about the discussion. Shay, more grace to your elbow. What you are telling us, I think I am in northern region, and what you are saying, I think, Shay, we pray to Almighty Allah that you people should live up to more than 100 so that we will benefit from you people. The way you people are doing, the moral talks that you people have been given to us, we thank God for that. May you people live up to 100 so that we will benefit more from you people. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Sheikh appreciates your soothing words. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So you see, profiling is all about putting in place a list, then we monitor. So sometimes somebody will come and mention somebody's name and want to be sure the person is into the business. We had collaboration with the Americans, we had collaboration with the British, and I know it is still continuing, with the Spanish, with the French, and profiling helps us not only to identify these people, but to continuously check and monitor that are these people in this business? If they were in, to what extent are they doing the business? So many things come on board. In fact, that was one of the things that Narcotics Control Board used to do, and it will continue to do. In fact, you see, Erebad, acquisition of wealth, in itself is a challenge for man. You see, as a Muslim, I know the Quran has mentioned something that human beings love wealth deeply. The love for wealth is deep, and sometimes man is entrapped by the beauties that go with wealth into thinking that he will never die, that life will be eternal for him. That is one of the satanic spirits associated with money. When you're running after it, when you pursue it, when you suffer from its obsession, then you know no limits.
Okay, yeah, Sheikh, thank you so much. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, you're on.
Good evening.
Yes, and lower the volume on your set or put your TV off. We can still hear you.
Yes, my name is Usman Queen.
I'm
from the Central Region.
The Central Region. Welcome. Hello, Kwe. Viewers, please, when you dial lines, you can actually put off your TV set completely. and we can still hear you, or your TV can be on, but lower the volume on your set.
So you mentioned East Legon and those places, please. It is the whole country. People have deep love for wealth. When you go to in the Bible, the book of Solomon talks about how the human being loves money. So the love we have for money, one Professor Samurai from Syria, do you know that? Gold, the human blood, this you and I, we have 0.2 milligram of gold in our blood.
I didn't know. Wow.
We have 0.2 milligram of gold in our blood. And the job of that small element of gold in our blood is to facilitate the movement of our joints. But Professor Samurai, he also said that. He suspects the way human beings love money. He suspects that I think there's some part of our hearts. He thinks there's some gold in it, hiding somewhere in our heart. But you see, I said earlier, it is a challenge. And the human being has to tame himself, train himself in such a way that he does not put money in his heart. If you put it in your heart, it will lead you to waywardness.
Sheikh, you've answered this thorny question in broad strokes. But would you... Okay, sorry, there's a caller. Hello, good evening. Good evening. What from this music? Okay, speak up, please.
What?
Speak up and lower the volume on your set.
Okay. Yeah, the discussion while you are going with the state, in fact, was very good for me. Yeah, I just want to know at the time you come home.
Oh, and we are on Tuesdays to Fridays from 8 to 9 p.m. But Fridays are for Sheikh. Yes, but Fridays are for Sheikh. And he doesn't, nobody competes with him for that slot. Thank you so much for calling. Sheikh, if I give you...
There was this young man who asked about some people being arrested for their activities in narcotics and blah, blah, what happens to them. The law is there to take care of them. In fact, I've never come across somebody who has been clearly caught in the act with evidence asked to go home free.
Yeah. Hello, good evening. Lower the volume on your set, caller. Lower the volume on your set so you don't get feedback. We don't get feedback.
Yeah, I just mute it.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Hello.
Your name, we can hear you loud and clear. Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Nazir, calling from Amade.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you. In fact, you have completed my day for me. In fact, Sheikh, God bless Sheikh, and God should let me live for 200 years.
Hey, but 200, that's too much. I beg you, reduce. No, 200 is
Thank you
too
very
much.
much. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for your call.
Yes.
Sheikh, you've answered the question in broad strokes.
Okay.
But I don't know, but are there people in the system we have so much respect for, people we think are doing legit business, that based upon the files you had access to, that it would be a shock of our lives to know that they engage in fraud or any kind of illegality to acquire the wealth they have?
Yes. You see, you rightly said that not everything that glitters is gold. There might be some people who are into this business. I don't know any. They acquire the wealth, and their mentality is that once you do philanthropic work,
Hello?
God Almighty.
Sheikh, that's a very good point. We'll cleanse the money. Hello, good evening.
Evening.
Your name and where you calling us from?
I'm called Abdul Jani, calling from Ejura, Ashanti region.
Ejura in the Ashanti region. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. I want to appreciate you, Sheikh, the program that you are doing. We really appreciate you. But I want to take as my role model. So I want to know which course do they read at the university level?
Okay, Sheikh will answer your question. Sheikh, you've gone for the jugular. Can I amass wealth illegally and think that by feeding widows and orphans and building a church and a mosque, I've legitimized the money?
Let me come in here. I'm giving two scenarios. The first scenario is the Muslim, a drug baron, cocaine dealer, who acquires his wealth and decides to use that money to send about 100 people to Makkah. 10 people, 20 people to Makkah. He enters Nima, gives monies out, gives out to widows and orphans. And at the back of his mind, he thinks that when he does these generosity-driven activities, those activities will legitimize the wealth that he has got. Last week, I said that what is illegal will remain illegal.
Sheikh, let me take this. This will be my last caller. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. This is Adam from Mankesim.
And Adam from where?
Mankesim.
Mankesim. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, my brother. I like the program so much, and I like what she is saying. No matter bless you all for the program and everything.
Amen.
And what I want to say is that nowadays, we, especially the Muslims, we value money than what we are worshiping. Because there's been a burden in Islam that the Muslims nowadays don't get married to their Muslim ladies due to money, like what she is saying. Because people value the money, and we don't know or we don't think who the person has the person gets the money from or where they are going to get the money from. Nowadays, people also value the work that they are doing and their parents and their children. What she is saying.
Okay.
People don't feel like the children they have been given the gift from Allah, and in the end of the day of judgment, they are what they are come for.
Okay, thank you so much for your beautiful thoughts from Mankesim. So, Sheikh, it's better I go through the toil and sweat of life, the drudgery of life, and be able to give 1 Ghana cedi, which is legitimate, then I might as well then take 100 people to Hajj.
You see, so I was trying to give you two scenarios.
Okay.
A scenario from the Muslim community and a scenario from the Christian community or the other part of Ghana. Cocaine dealer, and they are well respected because they ride in Land Cruiser, Rolls Royce, Nissan Patrol, latest edition. It is because our society looks at possession of wealth as a mark of success in life. Once the person is wealthy, he has succeeded. And I changed the status quo and said that the mark of success is when you grow old and your conscience is very clear. You haven't engaged in cocaine monies, because the cocaine money, no matter how you spend it, to build mosques, to build schools, to whatever you do with that money, God will never accept. And because of your illicit engagement in that business, punishment is waiting for you in the sight of Allah. The other side of it, the other part of Ghana, the non-Muslim public, the non-Muslim communities, you find somebody in this business, amass wealth. Then he builds churches. He does programs for orphans, for widows, blah, 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 across the length and breadth of Ghana. There is a very authentic hadith saying of the Prophet, which I want to quote, because we are talking about legitimacy and illegitimacy of wealth acquisition. The Prophet says, Inna Allah tayyibun la yaqbalu illa tayyib. That God, Allah, is all good and will not accept anything from his servant except that which is good. So the question is cocaine good? Cocaine is not good. The sale of cocaine is not good. The use of fraudulent means to acquire wealth is not good. And you can be in that business, get the money and spend, thinking that in the way of Allah will legitimize this. In the sight of Allah, it cannot be legitimized. It will remain a filthy money. That's the danger in it.
And Sheikh, in closing, our time is up, but I would want you to lump two issues up. I'll take you back to the community from whence you gave an example. And people go to the Gulf and they tell stories that they want to do projects to help the poor and needy. What percentage of the money you take from the Middle East is legitimate for you as a facilitator? And how much of it should go into the work?
You see, let me tell you frankly, if you go to a philanthropic person in Saudi Arabia, in Qatar, in Kuwait, and you have a link with a man, and you want to help him build mosques, schools in Africa, take care of orphans and widows and the rest, whatever project you have in mind, and you go to convince this man to give you the money, you have to spill everything in your heart and let him know that this is the kind of work we are going to use the money for. And then, because if you are working, you have to be paid.
So you can negotiate remuneration separately.
Separately. So that money you are going to be given for mosque construction is untouchable. You can't touch that money. If you use that money, you are eating fire in your belly. You are giving money to take care of orphans. You come and sit. You take 50% under the carpet, then you send 50%. That 50% you kept is fire. So if it is going to be a continuous work, you just tell the person, yeah, continuously, I'll be doing this work for you. So there should be a remuneration package. The person may enter into a memorandum of understanding with you and will say that whatever money I give you, take 10%.
Is that the case with these
projects?
No. Wells and then mosques?
No.
They decide how much of it to take.
No. And a lot of our own colleagues have become contractors. Instead of going to the field to do dawah, the person is sitting here writing to Saudi Arabia and other places and giving mosque construction. So the malam has become a contractor. He's moving with his Quran and the Hadith and the fiqh and everything, Islamic knowledge packed in his mind. He's dropped that. He's not delivering. He's walking around. He's become a contractor, supervisor over the construction of mosques.
Sheikh, in 30 seconds, talk to the youth. And the youth who have used fraudulent means to make money. And the argument is that the white man colonized us, and the plunder and pillage, we are paying them in their own coin. Can you speak to them in 10 seconds?
Two wrongs do not make a right. If they colonized us and stole our gold, God will punish them for that. If we steal their money in the name of paying back, God will punish us. All that I will say in the end to every young man is that pursue life. The doors of success are always opened by the Creator for those who are sincere and hardworking. Join that group and you'll never regret.
Thank you so much. On such an explosive note, we say thank you so much, Sheikh Ishaq Nyama, for making time with us today, just as you do every Friday. Till we come your way again with time with Irbad Ibrahim. Stay blessed and keep praying for Mother Ghana. Good night.